Hey, it is Xennial Gamer, and we're back with another RTA video, but we're going to do it different than last time. So for my last video, we had a lot of fights recorded and a lot less analysis than usual. It was a team I had just kind of built on the spur of the moment, and I was making my move up to, I think in that video, just to C2, but I've reached G1 now. And so for today's video, what I would like to do is start off by taking a couple of fights and giving a much deeper analysis, kind of like a play-by-play thing. I think a lot of the videos on RTA out there, you see the live action, which is really entertaining, and you get the analysis that you can get. But while we're playing RTA, sometimes it's hard to concentrate, we misspeak, or don't give that in-depth analysis. So I'm going to try and do this as a little bit more of an instructional a guide thing, like most of my videos. So I've taken two fights. One is a little bit longer, one's a little bit shorter. The longer one, I largely played it really well, and I'm going to take you through the thought process. And the shorter one, I did something really, really stupid. But I want to show that one as well, too, because it's important to know both the good plays and the plays to avoid and kind of the thought process behind all of it. Okay, so as you can see, it's a G1 fight. I'm going to open up with Fran, which is my standard open when I have first pick. And he comes out with the Bastet and the Daphnis. We'll go ahead and get our two picks out there. So at this point, I counter with Barbara and Vanessa. Now, Vanessa serves two purposes here. The first is the only way I'm going to have a chance to outspeed that Bastet is if I get my Vanessa through with another fast monster and he doesn't have a speed lead. So it gives me some ban options. Assuming he picks like a Ciara or some other speed lead, I can now choose between banning the speed lead or the Bastet. Because he has that Daphnis, I might be more inclined to ban the speed lead and try and get in front of him than to necessarily ban the Bastet. So I'm leaving my options open. Vanessa also works as an anti-Lucian counter. At this point with the Daphnis, you don't really expect to see a Lucian type cleave, but he's got last pick, and if you leave yourself vulnerable to a Lucian cleave, then they can always pop one in there. So since I know he's playing speed with attack buff, we want to make sure Lucian's not a threat. And then the Barbara is dual purpose here. She's going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Daphnis. She's got her attack bar boosting. And then obviously, you know, she has the 2 lives, which is really important if you're being cleaved. So after I make my pick, he goes ahead with the Wedjet and the Odin. Now the Odin I knew was coming. Odin almost always comes when that Daphnis comes. The Wedjet I wasn't so prepared for. Stupid LDs. So now he's got a speed lead. He's got 2 different buffers. He's got continual attack bar boosting. It's a much more dangerous monster than like if he had picked a Ciara. I wasn't happy at this point. But we went ahead and picked our Oki because Oki is going to give me a faster monster option and a chance to reset and a chance to CC because he has no immunity on that side. And then we went with Lauren. Now, honestly, the Lauren here, what I was hoping was to show Lauren as a threat and make him think that it was a Swift Lauren because I wanted him to ban Lauren. What I truly wanted was to get through my Vanessa, Oki, Barbara, Fran comp. I would have felt more comfortable with that. So I showed the Lauren hoping he'd think she was Swift and hoping he'd ban her. He does not. Spoiler alert. But Lauren does also serve dual purpose because she's going to give me control over that Odin. If he does allow the Lauren through, we want Odin to go as little as possible, obviously. And so Lauren does give me the ability to control Odin as well. So he finishes out with the Aegir right there, which is a really nice pick because I've got the 2 fire monsters. When he picks the Aegir, I'm kind of expecting that he's going to ban either the Fran or the Lauren. I did not actually expect him to ban the Barbara, just to be honest. I banned the Bastet at this point because, you know, if you ban the Odin, then you're going to get that Daphnis on an attack buff. If you ban... Basically, he's got so much ammo over there. I didn't want him to have the attack buff. So that was the real reason of banning the Bastet. I was hoping that I'd be able to outspeed. He's going to get the 24 lead with the Daphnis, but if he let my Oki through, and I was pretty sure he would because of that Aegir, then I assumed that I'd be able to take first turn, whether it was with Fran or with Vanessa. Either way, the Oki should have been able to outspeed the Daphnis. So we go into the fight, and I do outspeed. Of course, I had the Vanessa, so there wasn't a huge doubt there. And you'll notice that I started off by resetting the Daphnis. Now, this might be counterintuitive to some people. A lot of people would have gone to reset the Odin. Why? Because Odin has that resurrect. And you think, well, if I reset the Odin and kill him once, then etc., etc. But if you look at my team, once he banned that... well, the Barbara couldn't really do much damage to Odin anyway. But if you look at my team, I don't have enough damage to kill that Odin. Short of maybe counting on a Vanessa proc. And I will never count on a Vanessa proc. So what we're going to try and accomplish is to control the Daphnis and the Odin at the exact same time. We're going to split our focus on the two. So we reset the Daphnis so he can't snipe anything out. And then after that, we go after the Odin and we strip and slow him down with our Lauren. Now from here, we're going to focus most of our attention on Odin while not forgetting about Daphnis. So he went ahead with his buffs and then he comes after the Vanessa, which is kind of the obvious play. Going after the Vanessa makes sense. Obviously, Daphnis just has his skill 1 here. I do a little bit more damage to the Odin, and then you can see the Odin goes after Fran there, which, again, is a logical play. He could have tried to steal the attack buff from Vanessa, but he's at attribute disadvantage. So I go ahead and crowd control. All these plays are pretty straightforward, and then I go ahead and reduce the Odin attack bar further. Again, pretty standard. Go ahead and reduce the Daphnis. I don't think many of these plays need much explanation. If you're wondering why I didn't go after the Aegir, it's because I didn't have Strip, and Aegir had immunity. Now, my Fran goes here, and I do have my heal up. I have my skill 2 heal, and I could have healed either Fran or Vanessa, but the Aegir has not gone with his skill 2, which means the Aegir still has the ability to brand me. And if I were to use my skill 2 heal, it wouldn't be up next turn, and that puts me at greater risk. So I'd rather save my heal here and instead reduce the attack bar of the Odin while he's stunned. And I'm pretty sure that Odin's not violent, but either way, the longer until that Odin gets a turn, the better, because he is up to 4 stacks. So I reduce the Odin, and then I get the nice proc. And so I go ahead and reduce the Daphnis as well, because we want to keep that Daphnis further away from his skill 3 as well. So he goes ahead and continues to work on the Vanessa, which still makes sense. There's the brand, which we just discussed. I continue to work on the Odin. He gets that proc, which was really uncomfortable for me, but we survived. Now his immunity is gone because of the proc, so we were able to slow him down with our Lauren. Fran goes ahead and clears that brand that we just talked about, and then Oki was back to his skill 3, and I was able to reset my Odin before Odin has ever done anything. Reset his Odin, not mine. You notice Daphnis has still taken only 1 turn, so we've got time with him. We can go ahead and finish out the Odin right here. And obviously he's going to continue to work on my Vanessa, and he gets another proc. But I've been getting some procs too. It kind of balanced out. I don't think... I might have actually even had like an extra proc over him. I don't think either of us had any real meaningful procs in this fight, though. You know, sometimes you get that one key proc that completely screws you over. So now I'm splitting my attention between the Aegir and the Daphnis since the Odin is gone. And we're trying to keep that Aegir from killing our Vanessa, but we're also remembering that Daphnis is going to be, at the moment, he's 2 turns away. He acts 1 time, and then after that, he's got his skill 3. So we get everybody stunned. Or, well, not everybody, because the Aegir's still up, but we managed to reduce the Aegir's attack bar. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to finish the Aegir. Daphnis is not going to get back to his skill 3, and we're going to be able to finish him off. And honestly, even if Daphnis did get back... Oh, I stand corrected. We finished the Daphnis first because we were using Vanessa, and Vanessa would have attribute disadvantage against Aegir. But either way, it didn't matter which one I finished off because I was going to finish both of them off. So this is an example of a fight that I think I played as well as I possibly could have. Now let's look at a fight that I played really, really stupidly. Okay, so in this fight, he opens up with Hathor Tyrannus, which is kind of a strange open, to be honest. The two work together well, but you normally don't see them picked at the same time. And so this is pretty straightforward for me. I have to take the Ganny because I can't let him get Ganny Hathor, and because Ganny is going to be really powerful in resetting the Tyrannus and Hathor. I bring my Oki because Ganny Oki is a powerful combination, so it's a pretty easy pick right now. He comes back with the Triana and the Leica, and so I've already got the Triana basically countered with my Ganny Oki comp. And so now I'm looking at that Leica, and I can bring in my double Beast Riders and probably nuke the Leica out in 1 turn. However, remember, you have to hit Leica 4 times, and the Triana passive makes 5. So I'm going to have to get a reset on that Triana in order to nuke that Leica out in 1 turn. He finishes with the Ileana, which is immunity, which is not going to play great to my Ganny Oki comp, so I'm going to go ahead and ban the Ileana. He bans the Ganny, which, I don't know. I might, if I were him, have probably looked more at banning that Barbara. I said he bans the Ganny. I meant he bans the Oki. I might have banned the Barbara, but honestly, this was a tough ban for him. They were all pretty much equally set up to act as threats for him, and Oki is the fastest. So there is some sense in banning the Oki there too. Okay, so he goes first with his Hathor. He sleeps my Fran, which is pretty much to be expected, and then he procs. This was less to be expected. I'm not sure how much I love him going with the Sweet Dreams right there just to sleep the Fran, but I kind of understand. So I go ahead and defense break and start to work down the Leica. And then I proc. Now, had I gone after Leica again, remember, 4 hits to kill Leica, but the Triana passive. So had I gone after Leica again, I would have popped the Triana passive. So instead, I stripped the Tyrannus. And now I've got my ability to reset. Hathor's already used her Sweet Dreams, so I can reset the Tyrannus or the Triana, my choice, and then strip the attack bars of the entire team. I'm set up perfectly for my Ganny, right? Except, brain fart, I go after the Leica with Masha. I specifically did not go after the Leica with Barbara because I didn't want to pop the Triana passive. But to be honest, I was watching Twitch at the same time, and I just went somewhere else, and I went after the Leica. Pop the Triana passive, so Triana gets to heal the defense break and put up immunity and blocks off my Ganny. Now, in the end, that did not wind up actually costing me the fight, but look at where we are now. So let's go back just a moment, and you'll see why that did not cost me the fight. This right here is the only reason I did not lose that fight, because he went with his Hathor while I still had immunity up on 3 monsters. After I popped the Triana passive like an idiot, he couldn't come back with the Hathor and CC me. Had he held on to this, all he really did was add 1 turn of sleep to the Fran. Had he held on to this, I would have lost. And so we each made a boneheaded play, in my opinion. I'm wondering if I should censor out this guy's name, because that's kind of rude. But I'm calling myself out too. I made a stupid play also. And this happens a lot in RTA. You're acting really quickly, right? So we come back around. I pop the Triana passive. He gets the immunity up. And I ventilate Barbara, which is the only thing I could really do with Ganny right there. He puts up Soul Protection, which isn't going to do anything because Barbara can strip. He goes after the Barbara. The rest of this fight is pretty straightforward. I don't know if any of this will really need commentating. We've already popped the Triana passive, so we can keep going right after that Leica. He's choosing to go after the Barbara. My Ganny is going to get a chance to reset that Tyrannus. Or does he reset the Hathor first? He resets the Hathor first. We're going to go ahead and kill the Triana. And I believe he's going to forfeit here in a turn or two. At this point, I obviously have full control over the match. But, again, if he didn't waste the Hathor skill 3, he would have won. If I didn't make the boneheaded play and go after the Leica, I would have won without being in danger. So the point of this fight, and the reason we're spending so long on this fight, is because it's really important to think ahead, and then it's also really important to remember what you were thinking about and not get distracted. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please pop that subscribe button over on the left. It shows me that you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, it shows me that you found the information useful and hopefully it helped you in your gameplay. So here's the deal. You pop subscribe and I'll keep popping out content. Thanks guys.